Wow, no messing. The 1st of June, the window opens, bang! The announcement of Matheus Cunha and his move to Manchester United has been confirmed by both clubs. 62.5 million. Release clause, been triggered, all done, all announced. It was broke this morning that it will be announced today. It was. Cunha's already announced it on his Instagram stories. He's commented on Manchester United's post with a little fire emoji. And there we go. Finally done. Obviously it's the most unkept secret in the whole of football. It's been going on for weeks and weeks now. And it's the first big departure of Wolves' window. And there's going to be a lot of activity, if you're to believe reports that Sky put out, saying that we're after attacking midfielder, potentially fullback, striker. If you believe their reports. I don't know why it says potentially fullbacks. We definitely will need fullbacks if Aït-Nouri and Semedo go. But yeah, Cunha, everybody knows my thoughts. Everybody knows the thoughts of most Wolves fans. One of the most talented players we've ever seen. But he's dented his legacy a little bit this season from bad behaviour on and off the pitch. But I'm going to try and stay away from that this video. And I'm going to try and give a little bit of a tribute and talk about his highlights as a Wolverhampton Wanderers player. As we know, it was announced Christmas Day that he was coming in 2.5 years ago. And he joined under Lopetegui, a struggling time for Wolves. We were down fighting relegation. We eventually did survive that season. But for Matheus Cunha himself, he struggled. He struggled at first. He couldn't find the back of the net. I remember he got a goal against Leeds in a 4-2 defeat. But yeah, he really did struggle to find the net. But then, once Lopetegui leaves, walks that summer because of promises were not kept in terms of transfers, Gary O'Neill comes in and let's just say Cunha just becomes... something clicks in Matheus Cunha because he has a fantastic season under Gary O'Neill that first season. He really does. Some of the highlights from that season, the big one obviously is his goal at the Hawthorns in the FA Cup against West Bromwich Shitty Albion. And his celebration is iconic, saying he owns the Hawthorns. It was, I mean, you couldn't love Matheus Cunha anymore at that point. He was an absolute legend within the Wolves fan base for the goal and the way he celebrated. And he was really nice off the pitch at that point. Everyone was really liking what they were seeing from him. And unfortunately, as we know, that did start to get not be the case. That started to not be the case later in times. But again, that season, his hat-trick away at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea in a 4-2 victory, one of his big, big highlights. What a performance from him that day. And that was probably when the real big boys started to take notice of Cunha, when he got that hat-trick that season in that iconic red kit, wasn't it? He got that hat-trick, and Neto played that day as well, and obviously ended up going to Chelsea. But we go into the current season, and as we all know, he got injured, didn't he, towards the end of the previous season. We lose in the FA Cup, we peter out, and then we have a really bad start to this campaign. But Matheus Cunha, to be fair to him, even though we were shipping goals for fun as a team, his goals continued and continued, and he just was on fire. Even when we were losing, he was scoring. And I think the highlights from the first half of this season, for me, was the Fulham game in that purple kit. He's braced that game. Unbelievable. The one goal, great ball by Lamina, brings it down, flicks it in, and then his swooping finish into the top right-hand corner was a fantastic goal. And he was still an absolutely adored player for Wolves. And where the tide turned, ironically, is when Gary O'Neill left. His last game, Ipswich 2-1 defeat. I'm trying to talk about highlights here, but it's hard not to bring this up. The 2-1 defeat, he does have a meltdown after the game, Ripper Steward's glasses off, and as we know, he gets a couple of game ban. Very lucky, because as we're waiting for the ban, we go and draw with Spurs. We beat Leicester away. He scored that game under Vitor Pereira in his first game. We beat Man United at home around Christmas, Boxing Day, from memory, and he scores a corner in that game, vital. Then he gets his ban, but it's only an FA Cup game and a game against Forest in the Premier League. Comes back. January was a very weird time because the contract situation was all up in the air. We didn't know if he was going to leave in January. Big interest from Arsenal at the time. And he has that big clash with Liam Keane, doesn't he? The Express and Star reporter calls him a liar for saying he was just walked straight down the tunnel and didn't clap the fans. But he was still scoring goals. Look, he's ended up with 15 league goals this season, 17 in all competitions. That is an incredible return for a player playing in a team that spent the majority of the season in the bottom three and fighting relegation. And yeah, some fantastic memories, but although he's had a great season this season, it's very tainted. His legacy has been tainted. And again, I stand by what I've said over and over. He is the most talented footballer I've ever seen in a Wolves shirt in terms of natural ability in my lifetime. I've been going at Molineux since the mid-90s. Just my opinion, people disagree. But he's not my favourite ever player. At one point he was, but the way he's acted, it's lost that for me. But good luck, Cunha. I'm kind of mean that. Good luck. I think you've made the wrong move. I think you said you wanted to fight for titles and take a step up in your career in that gardening interview. And going to Man United kind of don't make sense. I thought you could have gone to an Arsenal or someone. But there we go. The first big outgoing for the summer transfer window for Wolverhampton Wanderers is Matheus Cunha. More to come. More to join Wolves. More to leave Wolves. And let's hope Jeff and that can sort this window out because it is so important. Cheers for watching, everyone.